You know that sound? That annoying drip, drip, drip of a leaky faucet? Well, it's more than just a nuisance. It's actually a real-world math problem that is the key to unlocking one of the most powerful and practical tools you'll ever use. So let's dive in and see how this tiny leak reveals something absolutely huge about numbers. So, here's our puzzle for today. We've got this tiny drip, right? We're measuring it in ounces and seconds. But the question is asking for the total waste in gallons over an entire year. The units are completely mismatched. So how in the world do we get from this tiny little drop to what's probably a massive flood? Well, that's exactly the challenge we're about to solve. Believe it or not, the secret weapon for solving this whole thing is surprisingly simple. It's just the number 1. I mean, we all know that if you multiply anything by 1, it doesn't change its value, right? That super basic property, the multiplicative identity, is the entire foundation for the technique we're about to use. It seems way too simple to be useful, but trust me, it's the key to everything. So how do we actually use the number 1? Well, we get clever. We disguise it. We write it as something called a unit ratio. And all that is a fraction where the top and the bottom are just different ways of saying the exact same thing. Think about it. 60 minutes is 1 hour. So the fraction 60 minutes divided by 1 hour is really just a super fancy way of writing the number 1. This is what I'm talking about. Look at all these different disguises for the number 1. You've got 1 day over 24 hours, 1 gallon over 4 quarts, 1 cup over 8 ounces. Since the top and bottom of each one represent the exact same amount, every single one of these fractions is just the number 1. And each one is a perfect little tool. We call them conversion factors that lets us change our units without changing the actual value of what we're measuring. Okay, so here's our game plan. It's a really simple 4-step process. First, we'll start with the rate we already know. Then we'll start multiplying by our special ones to switch the units. Third, and this is my favorite part, it's like magic. We'll cancel out all the units we don't want anymore. And then finally, we just compute the answer. It's a clean, repeatable method that just works every time. All right, step 1. Couldn't be easier. We just start with what the problem gives us. The faucet drips 1 ounce of water every 20 seconds. This little fraction right here, 1 ounce over 20 seconds, that's our starting block. Everything we do from this point on is all about transforming this one rate. And now for step 2. We want to get rid of seconds and eventually get to gallons per year. So let's start small and just change seconds to minutes. To do that, we multiply by our first unit ratio, 60 seconds over 1 minute. Now, this is crucial. Why did I put seconds on the top? Well, because our starting rate has seconds on the bottom, and this setup is what lets them cancel each other out. And you know what? From here on out, it's just rinse and repeat. We've gone from seconds to minutes. So next, we'll multiply by another 1 to get from minutes to hours. Then another 1 to go from hours to days. We just keep building this chain, and each link in the chain transforms one unit into the next one we need. Okay, here it is, the full chain. I know, it looks super intimidating, but just look closely for a second. All we really have here is our starting rate on the far left, and then just a long string of those disguised ones we talked about. Each fraction is just a tool we've picked out to get us one step closer to our goal, gallons per year. And now, here comes the most satisfying part of this whole thing. Step 3, canceling. Because we set this whole chain up so carefully, any unit that shows up on the top and on the bottom can just be canceled out. So watch. Seconds cancel seconds, minutes cancel minutes, hours, days, ounces, cups, pints, quarts, poof, they all just disappear. So after all that awesome unit cancellation, what are we left with? Just a bunch of numbers. That messy word problem has been totally transformed into a straightforward arithmetic problem. All we have to do now is multiply all the numbers on top together and then divide by all the numbers on the bottom. Simple. Okay, so we've done the math, but before I show you the final number, let's just get a feel for what a gallon really is. This is Gallon Guy. It takes 16 full cups of water to fill up just one of these. Now keep that image in your head because the answer we're about to see isn't for 1 gallon, it's for thousands of them. And there it is, 12,150. That's the number. It's a really big number, and it represents an incredible amount of wasted water. So let's put it all together. That tiny, annoying drip, just 1 ounce every 20 seconds, adds up to 12,150 gallons of water completely wasted over just 1 year. Wow, that is just a staggering amount when you think about it.
So why does all this matter? Well, because this incredible technique actually has a name. It's called dimensional analysis. And it's not just for leaky faucets, not by a long shot. This exact method is used every single day by scientists, engineers, doctors, you name it, to make sure their calculations are spot on. It turns these messy, complex problems into a simple, logical process that's almost impossible to mess up, all thanks to the secret power of the number 1.
Okay, and now I've got a final thought to leave you with. What if that leak was twice as fast, say 1 ounce every 10 seconds instead of 20? Now your first gut reaction might be say, oh, the answer just doubles. But does it? Take a look back at our calculation. Where does that 20 seconds number actually go in the fraction? Think about it for a second before you reach for calculator. I think the answer might just surprise you.